agree on one thing. That our phones are a pretty important part of our daily belongings and our general daily activity. Let's not lie to ourselves that we spend more time on our phone than we do talking to our own mother, our own father, our own girlfriends, our own boyfriends, or just anyone who's on our contact list. We spend more time texting them than we do actually having face-to-face interactions. You can't really deny that. There's not many people who can deny that, apart from some of the elders out there and the people who don't have phones. And if you don't have a phone right now, I want to give you a big round of applause. You're probably one of the 5% of people on this planet who actually don't have a phone. It's probably actually less than that now. But I want you to imagine, for the rest of the population who do have technology that allows you to access the internet, which allows you to play games, I want you to imagine, just for today, that was taken away from you. That all of that stuff that you use on a daily basis, which is most of your day's entertainment, was shredded away from you. Suddenly, your computer, your tablet, your phone, your iPods, your earphones were gone. Nowhere to be seen. You couldn't touch them, you couldn't pick them up. They were gone. Imagine that. It's a pretty scary thought, isn't it? You start to realise how much you really depend on these pieces of technology, which hundreds of years ago wouldn't have existed. Society has become so dependable on technology, to the point where we don't even make our own foods anymore. We stick ingredients in a machine and the machine does it for us. The workers at the factories just sit there and stares at the machine as it does it all for them. Our cars are fitted with automatic machines which, instead of us looking in our wind mirrors, tell us whether we're about to hit something. There's even now robots that you can stick on your floor that will clean your carpets for you. You don't even have to touch it. There's devices that can wake you up in the morning. You can text a partner without even having to go to their house. It's part of everyday life. And generally, society has become so consumed by it. And you don't really realise how much it actually takes up your life until you sit here for a second and you really think about it. And a couple of days ago, actually this was more yesterday than anything, I saw a video on YouTube by the YouTuber Zoe Sugg. She's like a beauty fashion YouTuber. She used to be famous in the beauty industry. She does vlogs every so often, and I'd normally watch their vlogs because, represent this happy family type shit, and I like that shit because it keeps me mentally happy for some reason. Anyway, I was watching her, and she posted a video about this thing called a digital detox. It's basically where you take your phone away or all forms of technology away and you don't use them for however period of time. So, what she has done, and she's worked with other people while doing this, is she has set up a campaign to motivate people to go out there and not use technology as much. More on the lines of social media, but just in general technology. And today, I really wanted to dig deep into this. I wanted to talk about it, and I want to express how I might start to include this in my own life. I'm gonna face the challenges that she's set, and see if I can really cope with that technology. So, if you're interested in making your technological and social life more interesting and more compatible to you, stay tuned. If not, please use the top link in the description to watch another video and learn a bit more about me. Apart from that, let's jump in this video and learn a bit more about digital detox. What's up guys, welcome back to the Focus the Future channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I sure am. Today's been actually pretty productive and pretty good considering over the last couple of weeks I've been the most laziest and anxious piece of rubbish I think anyone could ever find on this planet. But today I've been productive, upgoing and kind of getting on with it. So I've had a good day. I hope you guys have as well. Today we're going to cover something called digital detox, so if you're interested in any of that, stay tuned. If not, please use the link in the top of the description. But apart from that, let's go check out some digital detox stuff. Yeah. Now, let's just have a bit of a chat. Before we get onto like the Zoe Sugg stuff, let's just have a bit of a chat about technology in general. The stuff you use technology and how much we use it in our daily lives. And I'm going to kind of use my life as an example here. Now, the things I want to do in the future, you know, the mental health business I want to build, the kind of general motivation and the inspiration I want to give to people, them types of things that I want to lead into careers involve me using technology a lot. I have to have a pretty advanced computer to do the things I do. I have to be able to access social media to even maintain what I want to do. So technology literally holds my business together. If I didn't have it, this brand and this video wouldn't exist. So for me, I use technology nearly every day, and I don't know how I'd feel if it was all just suddenly taken away from me. Like I wasn't able to check my emails, or I wasn't able to check what was going on Instagram. I don't know how I'd feel about that. It would probably disturb a hell of a lot of my business. And this is the same for many people. Most office jobs nowadays don't just rely on paperwork. Most of them are computer work based, and even then you need a phone to keep up to date with what your boss wants you to do. It's not like many bosses actually go up to their employees and tell them anymore. They just send them emails or message them or call them. That's how unsociable we've literally got as a species. And for most of us, that's just normal daily life. We don't really think about it any more than the fact that, oh, this is just another day. But when you actually start to research, you start to look into these things, you start to look into the mental health effects of using your phone or a digital device all the time, you really do realise how much it takes out of you in a day. And you start to see parts of your life could be a hell of a lot better if you even spent 1 hour a day just not using technology. It is quite crazy. And you know what's even more shocking is that most teenagers, just in general, all around the globe, and what most scientists actually say, is that most teenagers spend on average 7 hours a day on technology. That could be their phone, laptop, or computer. Up to 7 hours, and that's just the average. That doesn't mean every teenager does spend 7 hours. A lot of us spend probably a hell of a lot more. But on average, it equals 7 hours, and that is pretty massive in the scale of things. The next biggest shocking thing is the mental health effects that even 7 hours can bring. Now, as human beings, we are naturally born to be sociable. We are naturally born to work as teams, as tribes, to go through and push through life together. The minute you start to separate humans and make them isolated, they don't work very well, which is why you will experience feelings of loneliness sometimes. Your brain is chemically made to want to be around other people, to want to socialise, to want to interact, to want to work as a team. And a lot of the time, for a lot of people out there, or unless you're extremely introverted, you will get a thrill out of being around other people. But that doesn't mean that you get the same thrill by sitting there on a phone call or even on a video call or on text. It's all erased. But a lot of people say by using their phone or calling someone, they're socially interacting. Chemically and physically, it's not the same thing. I could talk to someone on call for frickin' 3 hours a day, but it's not the same chemical interaction as I'd have face to face. It's actually proven that most couples who get together over text are more than likely to end because they didn't meet in person and actually ask each other out. It spoils the romance, it spoils the chemical connection that them two people have, which ends up in a pretty rocky road. So I think I'm starting to give you a big idea of how damaging technology can be, and I'm only going through a couple of things. The fact that teenagers use technology for most of their day, literally 7 hours of it, like that's literally half of your day gone. In that time you could have been reading a book, you could have been out with your best buddy, And even then, when people are out with their best buddies, they sit there and stare at their phone without actually socialising. So you can start to see it all adding up. What's even more shocking is a lot of the time this can lead to isolation. People get so lost in technology and social media and YouTube to the point where they forget that they have friends, they forget that they can walk out their front door and go and meet someone, even if it's pissing down with rain, and they just sit in their home and hope for the best. It leads people to experience feelings of loneliness and shame and isolation, which they've never really anticipated because they thought they was socialising. But chemically in their head, their brain doesn't think they are. It can hurt friendships, it can hurt your relationships, it can hurt your family. Because these people actually want to see you as in person, they don't want to just look at a phone. So you can start to lose friends, you can start to lose your partner over these things, which again is even more negative. It can cause health problems. Yes, you can get health problems out of staring at your phone. How magical. A lot of teenagers spend hours and hours of a night, probably up to like 1 o'clock in the morning for most, some 4 o'clock in the morning, staring at their phone rather than getting possessive sleep. Sleep is so important for no matter what age you are, it is prioritative. Without sleep, your brain doesn't feel as energized, you don't get the nutrients that you need, and your brain becomes weak and vulnerable. If you get enough hours sleep, you feel wide awake and your reactive senses are much more open to things and you can react better to threats and situations the next day. But most teenagers spend half of the time where they should be sleeping, sitting there on their phone. Being up half the night staring at a phone screen can lead to tiredness the next day, extreme mood swings. It could even lead to mental health issues such as depression or anxiety. Am I starting to scare you yet? It can lead to a actual delay in social interactions. You can actually become bad at talking to someone. Your social skills go down the drain because you're so used to being able to sit behind a phone and be like, well, I don't want to reply to this fucker, so I'm not going to. But now you're face to face with him, you've got no choice. You've either got to say something or you've got to stand there and be awkward. People don't know how to react to emergency situations because they've never had to, because they sat there and stared at their phone. When a car crash happens right in front of them, instead of running over and helping them and going through what you should be going through, they stand there in shock because their brain's got to come to terms with the fact that they haven't left their house in the last 5 weeks. And again, another thing to add to the pile. So how can we prevent all these health problems, all these mental health effects, and all these general livelihood effects that staring at a phone can have on you? I want you to try, for the next 5 weeks forward, I'm going to do this as well. For each day of every week, for the next 5 weeks, I want you to use your phone for at least one day. It could be a Saturday, it could be a Sunday, but one day each week, you've got to completely remove technology from your life and go out there and not use technology and do something else. That could be socialising, that could be reading a book, that could be taking care of health needs, that could be improving your hygiene, could be anything. But for one day each week, for the next 5 weeks, there's got to be one day where technology is not part of your life. I know, scary times, hard challenge, but you're up to it. Now, you're probably thinking, buddy, what the heck are the benefits of doing this once a week? Let me tell you. Now, what you're going to notice when you suddenly remove these things from your life is at first you're going to feel a bit lost. You're going to be like, wait, I can't wait, get out of bed of the morning anymore and be like, yo, where's my phone? I need to check Instagram right now. You can't do that anymore. You know, it's physically not allowed. Ow. Don't leave that in. You know, you can't do that. Neither can you wake up and do any work on your laptop. You're not allowed. All you can do is either read a book or go out and socialise or, you know, chat with your mum and dad. Or lay on the grass and meditate. It's up to you. That's one of the more agonising effects, and it's going to make you feel a bit lost the first time you do it. You're going to struggle to find things to do. You're going to be like, what if someone's messaged me? What if someone posted something on Instagram and I need to know a bit about it? What if someone's making fun of me? What if a Facebook request come through and I can't reply to it within 2.1 seconds? I can't do that. Crap, my life's over. And for a lot of you, that's going to be very traumatising. But as you do it more and more, you suddenly start to realise that technology is not a requirement. It's kind of just a luxury. Think about it, there's probably people in parts of the world that don't have these things and live, to a certain extent, just fine. They might not live as well as us, but they definitely live, and they're still alive. So if they can do it, you can do it too. Another thing you might notice is it kind of forces you to face things that you might never wanted to face. Beforehand, you might have not wanted to help your mum wash the dishwasher. That makes a lot of sense. Wash the dishes. And now suddenly you're very up for it. You might not have wanted to go and meditate because you had your phone to play on. Now you've got all the time in the world to meditate. You might not have wanted to get into fitness because, again, you've got a phone, you've got a laptop. Man, I could be playing video games, not working out. You might want to start to do that. You might want to start going for walks and exploring nature. You might want to start meeting up with friends you haven't seen in 60 years. All these things are possible. But the biggest thing is that you're going to want to start to do things that when your phone was sitting there, you wouldn't have wanted to do. And suddenly, you've got this thrill. Suddenly you're starting to work out. Suddenly you're starting to drink more. You're starting to appreciate life a bit more. You're starting to realise all the time that you were in your room, playing on your phone, your mum was actually doing something. Your mum's pretty much the reason you're alive, actually. And life suddenly becomes much more real. And as you do this more and more each week, you realise, man, I don't need my phone. I would love it, like, yeah, it's a luxury and I miss the shit out of it, but I don't necessarily require it. This video is not sponsored, but it is kind of inspired by at Zoe Sog, so shout out to Zoe Sog, because the only reason I'm able to make this video is because she gave me she's kind of created this campaign, I'm kind of just promoting it, so yeah, shout out to Zoe Sog, check her out, link in the description. So, go out there, do that. And I will be doing this as well. Don't worry, I'm not just like letting you guys go ahead and do this, and I'm not doing it. Right, anyway, I hope this challenge goes well. I thought I wanted to boost some enthusiasm into you. I wanted to give you something to work with over the next couple of days, and allow you to see a completely different side of life. Good luck, and I'll catch all you dudes next time. Bye-bye.